Welcome to another episode of 21st Century Rocker Mom Podcast with me, your host, Tanya Candler, and my special guest, Rob McCallum.
Hello.
Tag team back again. Welcome to Hawkins. So let's begin. Ha ha!
Did you write that down?
No, I didn't. We're going back to the upside down, baby. I did not write that upside down.
That's pretty good improv.
I know it is. I just, these things come out. People were asking me when you were going to be back on the show again. And I was like, I don't know. We were like ships passing in the night because you were working a ton. I am working a ton. And we're working like opposite schedules. So I was like, I don't know what the fuck. We have a crazy ass dog. So
More importantly, what is all this?
Oh, this is some amazing things.
We got like layers here. So I don't even think folks can see what this is. We'll work our way back there. What do we have up front here?
I made some hummus and dip. I like to make hummus.
This is Hawkins hummus?
This is Hawkins hummus. This is Hawkins hummus and
dip?
And pitas.
And pitas?
And pitas. Hawkins hummus and pitas. And then we have an array of hot sauces. But they don't come from Hawkins.
Well, where do these hot sauces come from, Tanya?
They come from Scoville City. That's where they come from.
How far away from Hawkins is Scoville City?
Just a hop, skip, and a jump. Just not too far away. We got some cauliflower wings to dip, and we got some...
Well, we got to showcase this stuff. Cauliflower wings. Do you know what cauliflower wings are? Have you explained what they are to people?
They're vegan chicken wings.
It's a chicken wing substitute for those that are...
plant-based.
Yeah, carnivore challenged.
Lettuce heads.
Lettuce head, is that the official term?
Yeah, and then I got some carnivore-less corn dogs.
Look at these.
Vegan corn dogs.
Vegan corn dogs. And these are the ones I like?
Mm-hmm.
The ones with like the cheddar jalapeno?
No, I didn't, because it's going to mess up the flavor of the hot sauce. Everything is plain.
These are just the corn dogs.
Because I don't want to screw up the flavor profile of the hot sauce. Spoiler alert, we're going to eat some hot sauce live. It's going to be great.
Ugh.
It's going to be amazing. I'm so excited because Scoville City is my sponsor. And I'm so excited because I actually get to talk to him and all about his company. And we'll talk about peppers a little bit later. But spoiler alert, if you have been waiting for July 1st like me, I'm not waiting for fucking shitty ass Canada Day. I'm not celebrating that bullshit. I have been waiting for new episodes, and like you have too, probably, of Stranger Things. Because this season...
Well, we're talking Stranger Things season 4, right?
Four.
So originally, admittedly, we only had 4 hot sauces here, so it made a lot more sense. And then I said, we got to get that other one. So I kind of screwed it up, but we're talking about part 2, which is kind of like 5.
It's okay. It is kind of like 5 because there's the beginning to everything. There's got to be the beginning to this hot sauce and tasting it. But like really, like if you've been watching Stranger Things season 4, number 1, hide your wife, hide your kids. Holy shit, it's violent. It's really violent. And Willie Nelson is talking to us in the background.
He's over there.
He wants to
talk. So I'm sure he'll make an appearance. I'm betting by the half-hour mark of this podcast, get the notes down, folks, we will see a snout pop up.
A little snowdy.
Just saying.
Willie Nelson wants to be in the Hellfire Club. He wants to play some D&D. When I said I like double D's, I meant Dungeons and Dragons. Well, let me tell you, it's been crazy, and I'm ready to go back to the Hellfire Club for Canada Day. I don't want to see any fucking fireworks being lit off, but I do want to see some fireworks being lit off in the Upside Down, in Stranger Things. What's going on? Will Nancy get out? What the fuck is happening? I'm on the edge of my seat. Seriously.
It's a good season. I mean, what are your overall thoughts?
We can totally talk about our thoughts and our feelings and everything we feel about Stranger Things overall. But we're definitely going to go episode by episode, and we're going to talk about each episode. And I
hope you've got lots of notes, because the problem I have with these shows when they drop all the episodes, they all blend into one. So I had to do a little refresher.
Okay, I was calling Vecna like the Vecron and like Velcro and like Vector, like it was like a cereal.
This has become the show, much like Game of Thrones, which I know you didn't really get into.
No, I didn't.
But you can watch the whole show, and it almost doesn't matter the names of any of these people.
Yeah,
you can kind of just get into it.
Talking about these blurred lines. Seriously, there's blurred lines. It all went together. But no, I was able to dissect it down episode by episode because that's what I do. I have a shitload of notes. I mean, this season's been magical. The Duffer Brothers have done it again. They have done it again. They're fucking geniuses. They've introduced a wicked new character who I'm dressed as this evening, Eddie Munson. What did you call him? Eddie Munster?
Yeah, Eddie Munster.
But you know what? Fascinatingly enough, I was like reading and stuff about Eddie Munson and his character and character breakdowns and how they introduce characters. And what they did was they based his character on Damien Eccles, who, as you know...
West Memphis 3.
Part of the West
Paradise Lost trilogy, series of documentary films we watched not that long ago.
And so, I mean, he was hunted and he was persecuted because he liked rock and roll and Dungeons and Dragons also. So obviously it was witchcraft, so obviously you're a murderer. The end, guilty is charged. So I found the Eddie Munson character to come in. I missed dear Billy, dear sweet Billy. I missed my
Why?
Billy because I just
such an obnoxious schmuck.
You know what? Teenage me loves Billy. I will say that.
I bet. Billy is like the badass version of Lucas from The Wizard. That's what I think. Billy would be a lot happier if he just had a power glove.
No, he wouldn't. He has a power glove. He was like, he went crazy, man. Like, did you even see season 3? He went crazy. Karen Wheeler almost got a piece of that craziness, but she didn't. I would have rolled over Karen. I'm just saying, Karen Wheeler, I would have rolled over.
Teenage you would have rolled over.
Teenage me would have rolled over in the pool house. Oh my God.
You might need to chill and have a Fresca.
And I'll tell you, clocks. Oh my God, clocks.
TikTok, the Vecna clock?
Yeah, it is TikTok, the Vecna clock. I did a TikTok about it today. I'm laughing. That's so funny because the Vecna clock, he's like the keeper or whatever he is now. So it's not really like a demigorgon. He's like the keeper. But what is he? Like, is he a mind control keeper? Is he a time control?
Keeps on tripping.
I'm serious. Is he a time control keeper? Does he keep both? Everyone's flying like an eagle into like the upside down and into his control. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's kind of nuts. What is he doing?
It's just your time's up. It would be a lot cooler though if they would have done like a Labyrinth reference and had a 13-hour clock.
Oh, yeah.
For all the different 80s film references that they go.
And Easter eggs.
That would have been a nice little thing to put in there.
Yeah, because like present day in like season 4, it's supposed to be 1986. I mean, obviously they start off in 1979. We go back to Hawkins' lab, September 8th, 1979. We're starting off at Hawkins' laboratory in season 1. That's called, season 1, episode 1. It was called the Hellfire Club. So we kind of get introduced to what has been going on in Hawkins since the move, since, everybody went out to California in episode 3, and, the others that were left back in Hawkins are back in Hawkins. So it's back to school, September 8th, 1979. It predates season 1 because, like I say, everything's got to start somewhere. So where did this start? It starts at the beginning. We're back at Hawkins National Lab. It starts friendly enough. You've got extraordinary human beings being observed in what happens to be like a rainbow room. It looks like to be a rainbow room. And there's like orderlies watching kids in little nightgowns in their little hospitals.
It's the most clinical daycare I've ever seen.
Like, I know, they got their heads all shaved, so they look nondescript.
The rainbows on the wall actually make it less comforting.
Oh, it's creepy. And there's mirrors. And there's like a Plinko game.
Oh, yeah, there is a Plinko game.
There's Plinko, and there's like a labyrinth, an old-fashioned labyrinth where the kids can make it spin with their mind. It seems to be like, kids with telekinesis or whatever their power seems to be. So they're getting that going on. There's orderlies looking at them. And in the rainbow room, there's all the kids they're there, but 11 seems not to be present that day.
She's not around.
She doesn't seem to be around. So I'll tell you, this taught me one thing. Never take advice from a magic 8-ball. Number 10 ends up talking to Dr. Brenner.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of kids and they all have different numbers.
Yes, okay, so all different numbers. If you know Stranger Things and you've seen this. This is like,
hence 11.
If not, spoiler alert. Talking to number 10, he's like, are you up for some more lessons today? How you doing? And, number 10 shakes the magic 8-ball and all signs kind of point to yes, and he's ready to go do some more testing with Dr. Brenner. So he goes to do some more testing with Dr. Brenner, and they're in a room, and he's kind of like showing him pictures of things, like he's drawing pictures of things on a piece of paper, and he's making him guess them in his mind. This is a...
It's pretty much what happened in Catholic school for me.
Really? I don't believe your ass.
What does Jesus tell you that you see?
Hellfire and damnation. In the Hellfire Club.
Speaking of Hellfire, are we getting to any of this? Because this food is like...
This is going to pull us into out of the upside down. We're going to try
this is how you got me to agree to do this.
Well, we're going to try, you know what? We're going to try something. We're going to try something with... How many Scoville units? We're going to try the smoky barbecue first. Are
we going to go from low to high? Is this going to be like a hot ones kind of thing?
Whatever, you know... I've tried some of these myself already, and they're fantastic. I'm gonna try.
Yes.
You know, I'm gonna have some of the gator sauce. The gator sauce is amazing. It's got like
I want to talk about that specifically.
You like the gator sauce a lot.
Well, when I saw the bottle, I was like, okay, I'm not too sure. So you can see it's got almost like a Gatorade green kind of. It's almost like a salsa verde kind of look to it.
It does look like salsa verde.
I was like, okay, I'll try it. I like the ingredients are pineapple, jalapenos, water. Organic garlic, lemon, and pink Himalayan salt, which
everything
we love.
Organic, everything vegan. You know.
So I was like, okay, pineapple and jalapeno, that's a great mixture. And I tasted it, and then I had anxiety, not because it was too hot, but because the bottle was too small.
And it was too good.
That's this serious like we're already halfway done this bottle, and I'm worried that we're gonna run out. So now I have to use it sparingly on the stuff that I really want to have.
Yeah, I know. So
I gotta pick and choose.
The gator sauce, it's so good. I'm going to have some on a chicken vegan.
You do a little
chicken
dab?
Wing.
Is that what you're doing?
I'm not going to do a little dab. I'm going to do a lot of a dab.
Okay, well, hey, I just said we have to ration this stuff. This is for all you mukbangers out there, too. You know, I'm going to put it on a corn dog because we don't get vegan corn dogs that often. It's only for special events like the podcast.
Like this. It's awesome. The pineapple comes through with that. The jalapenos... They're homegrown. This stuff is homegrown. Like, it's not getting outsourced from somewhere else. You know what I mean?
The Guy Fieri calls it the Flavor Town? Mm-hmm. What's the Tanya 21st Century Rocker Mom equivalent of Flavor Town, but much better and probably a little bit profane?
Like, seriously, good hot sauces. Like,
yeah, but what would you call it? Like, you have something, you're not going to Flavor Town, you're going to...
Where am I going? I'm going to fucking Scoville City.
Going to Scoville City.
That's where I'm going because that's where Flavor Town is.
You're going to lose your mind.
You're going to lose your mind. You got to lose your mind in Scoville City.
Okay.
Like USA.
Let's carry on with episode 1.
We're going to go on. So, you know, all of a sudden, Dr. Brenner says to number 10, he's finding all these things. I want you to do something a little bit more challenging. I want you to find Dr. Ellis. Where's Dr. Ellis? Find Dr. Ellis in your mind. And he indicates something's wrong because Dr. Ellis is with Six doing lessons in Six's room. And all of a sudden he says something's wrong, something's wrong. Six and Dr. Brenner, and he starts kind of like rocking back and forth and freaking the fuck out. And he says that Dr. Brenner and Six are dead. Something's terribly wrong, something's gone wrong, there's an accident, and all of a sudden, an alarm blares.
Be-doo, be-doo. Like the minions start running around.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. But obviously there's an emergency at the lab. So this season definitely has got to be, like I say, the most gory and the most blood splattering.
I find that there's a lot of alarms in this season, like literal alarms. And it's like things go from calm to like instantly an alarm going off or some sort of loud noise.
You have a little bit of a panic
pushes
attack.
you into an action sequence and it's like, oh.
Small panic attack.
I gotta take a breath after that. I might have to take a little pause, regroup, get myself together, have some Scoville City.
But all the test subjects, Dr. Brenner comes out to see what the hell's going on, and all the test subjects are deceased. Like, they're gone, they're wiped out, they are fucked right up. And finally, it's like the dead bodies everywhere video from Korn. It's just fucking... Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit the floor. They're just fucking gone. Yeah, like, huge. But big time. That's what it was like. It's just everywhere. And it's kids and stuff, right? So this is definitely one that you do not want to watch with the fam, guys. I know that episode and season 1 and all those things are about trick-or-treating and things were really... cool and kind of
innocent and childhood-like.
Yeah, and they was riding your bikes and everything you loved about being young. But this one it deals with a little bit more adult concepts.
It's more fun.
It is more fun, but it deals with more adult concepts. It deals with sexuality. It deals with, like different,
Like I said, fun.
Way more fun, but like adult fun. Like things that adults can grasp. Things that kids wouldn't grasp. It's going to be fun for them one day. This season, like they say, it's definitely a bloodbath. And finally, there's 11 standing there before Dr. Brenner, mad as fuck. And he just says, like, what have you done? What have you done? What have you done? That's a fucking opener.
Everything at the lab has always been my favorite stuff about the whole show.
It's
the
so
kids
crazy.
and stuff are fine, and the whole like Scooby-Doo and the Mystery Machine angle, lots of fun. But I love everything that takes place in the lab because they're searching, right? It's a mystery, and they're trying to figure out how it all works. That stuff has always intrigued me, and this season is very heavy with the lab-orientated narratives.
I know,
couple
but
of
then
them.
now from here and that kind of opener, where do you go? You fast forward, obviously, right to 1986, because that's where we are right now, present day. And, you know, Mike is back at Hawkins. Elle is in California with Joyce and friends and family. And, you know, things, they start off with that fucking horrible Beach Boys cover that they didn't have Brian Wilson on, California Dreamin'. They take the mamas and the papas and they just drag them through the mud.
But it's California mud, at least.
All the leaves are brown, I'll tell you that much. That song sounds like brown.
Sounds like somebody took a shit in the woods and used some leaves.
It's true.
To wipe.
Mike and Elle are still dating.
Hot.
They're having that long distance love. Nancy,
You know a little something about that.
I do. We had some long distance love for a little bit.
Yeah, I did.
And now we are together again. Together again. Ain't it great to be together again? I just can't remember that we've ever been gone. It's not starting over.
It's just moving on. Together again.
Again. So like I say, there's a lot of long distance love going on. There's a lot of anticipation to spring break coming up. There's a lot of school going on. And Elle's having a time like in school. Like she says she's having the time of her life, but she's really like having the time of her hell life. She's met up with this mean girl named Angela who's tormenting her through hell. Like, don't even go there,
Did you
Angela.
ever have an Angela growing up?
Oh, fuck yeah, I had an Angela growing up. Oh, I had an Angela. I think everybody had an Angela growing up. Someone who was just a complete see you next Tuesday. And that's what Angela was for Elle in Stranger Things. We'll deal with Angela a little bit later on. But Jonathan's got a new side piece, and her name is Mary Jane. Do 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 do, Mary Jane. And he's got another side piece as well, Argyle. His friend Argyle, the pizza delivery guy.
It was a pretty fun character in this whole season.
He is, and he delivers for Surfer Boy Pizza, which I thought was funny because in like the other seasons it was Scoops Ahoy ice cream, Surfer Boy, Scoops Ahoy. It all rhymes. I thought it was kind of ironic, don't you think?
A little bit ironic.
And yeah, I really do think it's like seriously, it's true. So Argyle, in short, drives a pizza wagon and smells like Otto's jacket, if you've ever seen The Simpsons. Elle says that Argyle and Jonathan...
We can call him Otto.
We can call him Otto.
He's probably got a double guitar.
Totes. He totally does. He's cool as fuck. Cool character. It's great to see like more racial representation in television. I'm loving seeing more diversity culturally in TV. So it's nice to see him as an addition as a character as well. So it's really cool to see him. It's also stoners represented in TV too, because Elle refers to them as just they smoke smelly plants and not to tell Joyce.
Yeah.
Don't tell Joyce. And so next, back in Hawkins though, like this is just what's going on in California. Back in Hawkins, Mike's getting ready to come see Elle. Nancy's working for school paper at Hawkins. Nancy's working for Hawkins paper with her friend Fred.
She is such a reporter too. Like,
oh my God,
it was just a matter of time
reporter.
before like her little busybody got her little busy bee into some busy trouble.
Oh yeah, what's gonna pull me out of the upside down right now? I'm gonna try something to try to pull me out of the upside down. Nancy's working for her school paper. Dustin is, hacking into his grades. Dusty Buns is hacking into his grades with Susie. We got the smoky barbecue here with Scoville City. I'm going to try some of this dab on here. It's a hotter one.
Okay, well, I guess I got to do it.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I'm worried, folks.
No.
This is not one I've tried. She says it's fantastic. I think she's setting me up for failure.
It's hot. It's good.
I'm going all in.
You should go in. Put your ass into it. No, but really.
I'm worried.
Don't worry. Don't get worried. Nice and hot. It's got a nice burn at the end, but it's nice and smoky. And these are vegan too. Like,
what's
I'm
in
gonna try
that
this
one?
one last.
Morita and habanero peppers.
Yeah, onion, organic,
Or pancake syrup.
I love it.
I can taste the pancake syrup. I wasn't sure if it was part of the batter that was
It's a really
on,
nice balance.
on this.
It's a really nice balance.
Oh.
So again, back in Hawkins, like I say, Mike's ready to go to California to see Elle. It's spring break. Everybody's getting crazy. Dusty Buns is getting his girlfriend Susie Q to hack into his grades.
Goodness.
She's going to hack into his grades. We're going to do that one last.
Yeah.
She's going to hack into his grades and find out what he's doing. Lucas is kind of hanging out with the class and jock assholes. He's kind of falling in with the basketball team with a bunch of jerks. Steve as well.
I don't like the basketball team stuff.
They're assholes.
Yeah.
They're
And
just-
I mean,
it's
I don't like it, not from like a story point of view. Like,
No, they're mean.
yeah, exactly. They're like the fake bad guys this season.
They're like the mean girls. Like, they're just like, get in assholes, get in losers.
They're just that extra wrench and everything else that's already like trouble. Let's face it.
Steve as well. Steve. And Robin, thank God, has finally come out as the proud lesbian that she fucking is. She's a very nervous lesbian.
But I love
But
Steve
she's-
and Robin
I
working
love
together
their
at the video
dynamic.
store.
Oh my God, their dynamic
I
is
just want a
amazing.
spin-off show with them at the video store. And every season they can work at a different like job in town.
And you know, my favorite character, who I will tell you absolutely is Maxine.
Mad Max.
I love Mad Max. I love Mad Max. I love her so much. And she's been dealing with the loss of her brother. Admittedly, she's been having a very hard
So
time.
have you.
I think
You've been having a hard time with the loss of Billy.
I have been having a hard time with the loss of Billy. I love his character. I love him, but seeing him a little bit in some of the other episodes where he comes back to kind of see her, I will tell you in the episode, the boobies conversation in the car with Steve and Robin was fucking hilarious. There's
Who
like,
pauses the video at like what is it 5:53 and 42 seconds?
yeah, exactly. She pauses the video here. She loves boobies. You love boobies. I love boobies. It's fine. Like, we all love boobies. And like, for me, it killed me. That was like the fucking funniest highlight for that. Then we meet Chrissy and at the pep rally. Kill me. Because they remind me of high school pep rallies. Did you ever have those?
Of course we did.
I did not like pep rallies. It was not cool.
I hated any General Assembly type stuff.
Me too.
I hated having to sit on the floor
We'll meet
cross-legged.
Chrissy. We'll meet Chrissy because because the basketball team captain, of course, is dating her and wants to shout out at her at the crowd. Well, she'll become important a little bit later. Conflict arises when the big B-ball tourney is on the same night as the very pivotal evening for the Hellfire Club. It is Eddie's come up. It's his tour with Vecna, and it's Vecna's curse. We're going to get into that later. Lucas is struggling with kind of wanting to be one of the cool kids. Lucas is just struggling with his self-esteem, I think.
He's trying to fit in.
He's
trying to find his place.
He's sick of being a loser. But the other kids are like okay with being losers. They're fine with playing Dungeons.
Well, they don't
and
see
Dragons.
themselves as losers.
No, we see them doing what they want to
But
do.
this is what happens though when you grow up. You've got people like in your group from elementary school, and they start to have like interests in other things that aren't always the same.
Yeah, I agree.
And
And
it's okay.
high school sucks. Like, let's just put it out there.
Yeah.
It doesn't last forever. It only lasts for a few years. For some people, it's a great crowning moment of their life.
Some people it doesn't end. Some people it's still going on.
Exactly. And some people, it's never like the crowning moment of their life because it sucks. It is what it is. Things come to a halt when Joyce gets a package from Russia with love. From Russia with love. It's got stamps all over it with Russian stamps. What the fuck? It's from Enzo, who will later find out his name is Dmitri. But anyways, I thought we were done with the KGB, but it opens in wow.
You're never.
Babushka, babushka, yeah. You get a toy, a babushka, this doll, this Russian doll. And we find out that, lo and behold, Hopper is alive.
Now I gotta ask you, out of all the storylines that go through, the stuff at the lab, the flashback stuff with 11, the stuff with the basketball team, the California stuff with the kids, and Dimitri. Mm-hmm. Which is your favorite storyline through the whole season?
I think, honestly, the kind of mind fuck that Max is kind of going through, like, to grieve her brother and then also try to save her own, like, life because, like, she's living in a trailer park. She's really changed. I really like Sadie Sink as an actress, and I really like Maxine's character and how she's written. She's a strong female character. She's not taking any shit. She's running up that hill. She's owning up to Kate Bush. She's going to talk to her guidance counselor. Her stepdad's gone. Her mom's a drunk. She lives in a fucking trailer park. She's obviously got some PTSD about what happened with her brother at the mall, like Dear Billy. I'm really jiving with like that storyline, and I'm also jiving about the upside down and kind of where it is, but we're gonna get to where that is later on in episodes. Sure. Hopper's revealed alive. This is what I'm happy that he's alive. Joyce is happy that he's alive, obviously. She's gonna get her man back. Joyce. Goddamn Joyce. Give him a glass of
hops.
Now, Master Eddie has a Vecna campaign in Dungeons and Dragons. Chrissy visits Eddie to score some dope, and fatally, she's twisted into basically a levitating fucking pretzel.
Yeah, I read sites that called it, when everybody succumbs to Vecna, it's being pretzeled because they're all twisted around backwards.
They're like levitating, they're up in the air, and they're a pretzel. Their eyes get torn out, and like there's clocks everywhere by the force of clocks stalking her. And there's clocks stalking a few people at this point, and it's kind of a little bit crazy.
Well, it's this weird trance thing that happens, right? Like they start having headaches and they're like pulled out of reality. Yep. And those interruptions of the day-to-day reality get stronger and stronger until finally like you meet your maker kind of deal.
I love this smoky barbecue.
I know, I'm going back for seconds because I hadn't had it yet, and I need to orientate myself to it.
It's awesome. Great. I love it. You know what? I'll tell you, highlights for this episode for me, Karen Wheeler's hair.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. It was amazing with that 80s thing around it.
It felt like a little too 80s for me.
It was a lot of poofiness. It was a lot of like craziness. It was a lot of curliness. And also, Erica, Lucas's sister, when she was asked about playing Dungeons and Dragons like in Lucas's spot, because she was kind of shoved by the wayside because she's a little sister. She announces herself as that she's Lady Actually. Are you sure you're gonna be able to play this?
Yeah.
And she announces herself very like poker faced as, well, I'm Lady Applejack, Lucas's sister. She kind of fills in for him, and she kind of says she'd stab any monster in her path with a quote-unquote poison-soaked kukri and smile as I watch you slow, agonizing death. So
almost every line of dialogue she has this season is gold. Is like a good one-liner. Like she has a standout character this season for sure. She gets like completely leveled up.
The female characters this season have stood out like crazy to me. Like it's been crazy. It's been amazing. It's been good. Episode 2, Vecna's Curse. Vecna. Velcro. Vecron. All the V's. Like everything's been V for me. And like I say, Max was the only person that got kind of a peek at Chrissy in the aftermath of what happened in the trailer with Eddie Munson where he lived with his uncle.
Yeah, so Max is watching as Eddie Munster, as I call him. Eddie Munson takes Chrissy. It's a completely odd pairing, right? Because she's like a high school cheerleader. But they connect on like an intelligent level. You through her, you see that Eddie isn't like all this bravado and this like big outcast. He actually is intelligent.
He's not a degenerate.
He's a kind soul. He's just kind of mislabeled and thrown into a corner. So he embraces it, but he's really somebody a little bit more kinder on the inside than people would give him credit for. So Max sees them disappear into his trailer and wondering what's up.
And I mean, she's the only person who sees the aftermath of kind of what happened in the trailer. The next day, I mean, there's cops fucking everywhere. Of course, there's cops everywhere because there is a murder. The trailer's taped off. Everybody's kind of come back. Max, Dustin, Steve, Robin, and Eddie. They track him to his dealer's place. They go to Reefer Rick's. Reefer Rick. How did they find Reefer Rick?
This was some good sleuthing.
How do they find Reefer Rick?
It's kind of the part that I always, if I had a job that allowed for it, I wish I could have taken advantage of as some greater mystery. Of course, they're in the video store, and they're trying to find if Reefer Rick has rented anything. And there's I think 5 different Ricks, and they basically look at the different rentals. And it's all Cheech and Chong, so that's probably pretty much who Reefer Rick is. At least worth checking out.
Now, how many Cheech and Chong movies have you seen?
I've only seen one.
Oh.
Up in Smoke. I know you've probably seen them all, got them memorized, have the deluxe box set. And
yeah, man.
are basically you're part of the CNC club.
I love Cheech and Chong, man. I did think they're so funny, man. My dad raised me with that kind of humor, so I thought it was so funny. The songs to me were funny. I didn't know why they were funny. Now I do. Now I do. I'm older. Now I say I track Eddie to his, because at this point Eddie's already on the run because he's getting blamed for the murder of Chrissy, because who else would do it except Eddie, the satanic guy who played Dungeons and Dragons with a satanic game that's just killing people all over the world. So he's escaped to his dealer's house, but he's been tracked there by my friends in the boathouse. They all come to see him, and they all come to the conclusion that whatever killed Chrissy was a creature as powerful as Vecna. Nancy and Fred from Hawkins Tiger are investigating, and they learn about a freaky old tale about a guy named Victor Creel, actually from the uncle of Eddie Munson. He kind of doesn't want to talk to any other reporters, but he agrees to talk to Nancy while Fred's off doing some kind of fuckery
Nancy
in the
Drew
forest.
at this point.
She is Nancy Drew at this fucking point.
Fred gets called. He hears the sound and he goes to investigate, and that's the start of
Clocks.
Yeah, it's the clocks. He gets starting to get pulled out of reality. It's when we hear sounds or we think we see things. That's the Matrix coming through, right? It's
pull
the
myself
other
out.
side.
I'm gonna pull myself out now with some white truffle.
So Fred sees a clock laying down in the woods and he goes for it.
You ready to pull yourself out with some white truffle?
Is that what this
Sauce?
is?
Yeah, this is white truffle. I want to try this.
Is this a brand new spin for you, or have you done this one yet?
This one's awesome.
Water, vinegar, white truffle oil, habanero peppers, pasilla chilies. Is that how you say it? Chipotle spices. And
Pasilla.
All right. Well, we're going to try it.
Beautiful. The balance on these sauces, I gotta say, nothing's too much and nothing's too in the background. That's fantastic.
It's really salty.
Yeah, it is. It's so good. It's bright.
So where are you in these 3 right now? Ooh, that's got a kick to it at the end.
I know, right at the end.
Gator sauce. This is the barbecue style, and then this is the white truffle. Where are you? 1, 2,
I'm
3.
an asshole for the smoky barbecue, but I love just this is an everyday sauce.
Yeah, which one do I like, folks?
The gator sauce.
I don't know. I like them all.
You can put it on everything. I can put it on hummus. I was gonna add some to hummus to make it awesome. Or hummus.
I really like that white truffle one. Whew. I like it.
I'm gonna pull my ass to the upside down.
I got to get a train ticket to Scoville City. That's what I need. Now I have anxiety about this bottle running out.
And you know what? They ship to Canada and the United States.
But more importantly, when they say they're going to ship, they actually ship.
You.
It's not like, we have supply chain issues. It'll be a couple weeks.
Months later, still know nothing.
But at least we have a sponsor that cares.
We do have a sponsor that cares. And that is Scoville City, and they're fucking amazing. Absolutely amazing. So,
where are we going next?
We find out that Nancy and Fred, like I say, they find out from the Tiger about this crazy old guy named Victor Creel from Eddie's uncle, and Fred eventually gets clocked, like I say, and he meets his maker. And he's by himself. There are no...
That's clever.
I know.
Time's up for Fred.
Time's up. He gets
clocked.
But there's no one to around to witness it. So he meets the same fate as Christy. It was totally foreshadowed by seeing the clocks and coming into town and seeing something when he had a car accident before and he could have saved somebody and stuff. So Joyce enlists Murray's help to call Enzo, this guy Enzo, like I said, who we'll later learn who is Dmitri, who is a Russian prison guard who's gone bent and wants to help Hopper get the fuck out of prison. And Dmitri sent them to Alaska to pay $40,000 to some fucking Yuri dude, some crazy pilot guy who's going to get, I guess the word is, Hopper unstuck from prison and back into his woman's arms. This is what he wants to do. Yuri wants to do something. I like
Yuri. I think he's a fun character. You know, you can't trust him because he's Russian, and the way they portray Russians, of course, in the 80s, the Cold War and everything, you can't trust him.
No.
But he's a fun character, and he's got enough of a humor to him that you almost want to trust him. You almost want to think the plan's going to work.
The funny thing is, like from the news now, you still can't trust Russians.
Yeah, well, full circle. Some things never change. Like the Russians who screw you over.
Yeah, big time. They just want to take over everything. Fucking crazy. So, I mean, they got to go to Alaska because they got to meet this guy, Yuri, in order to get $40,000 to him in order to get Hopper out of prison and spring him because they find he's alive. They're going to do anything to get him out of the fucking prison because no one wants to be
They're going to gamble and hope that it's real.
Big house. Exactly. Elle is super, super humiliated in front of Mike in at the roller rink. Angela and friends decide to like form a circle of hate around her and kind of pour a milkshake on her. She gets super humiliated, even though she tells Mike that things are going great at school. Will kind of like looks on in horror. Will is like a huge third wheel at this point.
Feels like a third wheel in the show, but in a good way.
But we'll get to that later. I have a theory.
And there's nothing worse.
I have a theory about this.
I think the only thing worse than getting splattered with like a chocolate malt or milkshake or whatever it was is probably getting like hummus dumped on you. Because like it's thick and runny and gooey, but a milkshake is cold. And that's not, you can't just wash it away. Like if you got a soda like thrown on you. And it did not
bring all the boys to the yard. All it did was just get her like on a videotape. Whoop! Everybody fucking laughed at her. That wasn't cool. It wasn't cool to laugh at Elle. And you know what? I'll tell you right now. This all ultimately led up to something horrible happening to Angela.
Was it though?
Well, it wasn't that horrible. It was awesome. I mean, horrible because of what happened to Elle in the aftermath of it. Ultimately, this led up to Angela just getting fucking like raped in the face with a fucking roller skate. Like literally boot fucked.
Now,
skull fucked in the nose.
It's a great moment for the audience because, you know, everybody's rooting for Elle and they feel bad for her.
Exactly.
But I think they should not have done that. I think it should have been like, you know, like a wishful thinking thing in her brain, but like she actually didn't go through it.
She did that, but she didn't.
I mean, obviously she has to because we see what happens. She gets arrested, yada, yada, yada. It's coming.
But I mean, it's the wheel of life. She gets smacked in her smug bitch face with a fucking roller skate.
When you have your heroes, you've got to continually throw rocks at them until they're at a place where they're literally at the bottom of the barrel.
I will tell you, at this point in Stranger Things 4, in all these episodes, I've already realized myself that the soundtrack to the show, in general, is already a fucking banger. Like, it's a banger as hell. It's so good. We've got, like, Psycho Killer on it already by this time. We've got all kinds of good, like, we got Dead or Alive, like You Spin Me Right Round, Baby Right Round. We got, like...
kind of the soundtrack that we have in our lives,
we got too. Rock Me Amadeus, so rock me Amadeus, Amadeus, and do Amadeus. We got Kiss, we got like Detroit Rock City's on there. It's a banging soundtrack from start to end. Things are kind of really good. Seeing Vecna was fucking scary. Angela was scarier because she was more of a fucking bitch. I will say that for sure. Chrissy's boyfriend Jason and his vigilante jock shit are out for Eddie and co.
What do you think of Vecna, the way that the design he is?
I think he's kind of cheesy a little bit.
He's like a red, like throbbing swamp thing.
He is. He's weird.
You know, and I'm sure that's intentional because I think the Swamp Thing movie came out in the 80s. He looks like a placenta.
He's very placental. So I will say that.
I think he's like an inside-out penis or something. Like he's just like disgusting. Like there's nothing pleasing about it. He's literally like penetrating people's minds.
Ew, he's a penetrator.
He is.
He's gross. I don't want to talk about that. That's disgusting.
That's a lot for you to say that. I've seen what you talk about in your shows.
That is fucking hilarious. But like seriously, no. Jason is out at this point as a vigilante hunter to get Eddie and the rest of the Hellfire Club. And Lucas is with them. Hello, can you say mutiny on the fucking bounty?
Say traitor.
He is a fucking
turncoat.
Traitor. He is a turncoat. Lucas, fuck you. Just trying to be in with the in crowd. He even throws his club and his sister under the fucking bus. Side note, Mad Max, Sadie Sink, The actress that plays with her now has more street cred with me because she is, just like we are in all these classes from Scoville City, are vegan. We're eating all vegan sauces right now.
That's great and all.
Amazing,
I don't
right?
like somebody more because of what they eat.
No, just give her more street cred with me. I was like, oh, she's vegan too? Oh, that's great. She's also on this planty path.
I'm just going to say I still love you,
Thanks,
even if you
Max.
eat animals. I still love you.
Oh, I still love anyone who eats whatever they want, but I'm just saying, you gave her a little bit more street cred with me. You made her a little bit cooler for me. I was just like happier when I found out that she was vegan. I was like, yay, you're a great
Did you
actress.
feel more connected?
No, I just
Did you want to go running up that hill?
No, I didn't want to go running up that hill. I just feel like she's got a little more street cred. She's been through a lot this season, okay? Leave her alone.
Okay.
Jesus, ease up.
Now you're acting like Vecna because who she is in the real world is different than who she. Okay, just go on. Go ahead.
Episode 3 was the monster and the superhero. They discovered Fred's body kind of right off the bat in this episode, and obviously there was no witnesses. It was in the same state as Chrissy's.
He's like Aunt Annie Pretzel on the highway.
Yeah, he was fucking fucked right up and over too. Like no good. They had to scrape him off the highway.
Here's the thing too that you haven't got to yet with all the Vecna's victims. Mm-hmm. Vecna's victims. Try to say that 5 times after.
Vecna's victims. Vecna's victims. They've
all done something in their past
that's been really bad.
So it's not like random murderers or anything like that. These people have been basically
intentionally shitty.
Paid for their crimes, a little bit like Dexter. Mm-hmm. He takes people that have gotten away and illuminates their darkest secrets.
Makes them kind of pay for it. And it's true. Now, Max, Dustin, and Steve decide they're going to break into the guidance counselor's offices to find out what these kids like Chrissy and friends were kind of having experiences with before they died. And Chrissy and Fred were all experiencing the same thing, but the same kind of thing that Max was experiencing herself, having the same kind of, like symptoms, like headaches and trouble sleeping.
Feeling out of it and
things like that.
Lost of touch with reality.
Since they were all suffering from the same symptoms, Robin and Nancy decided to find out a little bit more about Victor Creel. So they decided to make up an elaborate lie. What are you going to do? Try that right now?
Yeah, I'm going to try it. I'm listening to you.
Of course, I'm right in the middle of a sentence. You're going to wait for me, though.
Sure. You know what? This is called building dramatic tension. Okay?
You're going to fuck that wing up.
This is
Robin and Nancy, like I said, it's the Orange County. We're going to try the Orange County. Rob is excited to try all these sauces.
I've been waiting like weeks to try them.
Oh my God. Robin and Nancy decide to find out a little bit more about Victor Creel, obviously, at this point. They want to know about Victor Creel because they've heard about him. They want to know if he's real. So they go in and they talk to Victor Creel. And an evil spirit killed his family. It killed his wife. It killed his kids. This is the story.
Allegedly, according to him.
Allegedly, according to him. He moved into a beautiful house and just bad things started happening. Lights flickered on and off. Things were really bad.
Very Amityville.
It was very kind of Amityville. Things were bad for Victor Creel. I'm going to load up one too with the Orange County. This one's got carrots in it. So I'm guessing it's going to be bright.
Well, it is bright. Hey, it's splashing. Beautiful. Hey, there's no sneeze guard here.
Screw you, homie.
Right, cheers? Are we going to cheers?
Oh, well, yeah.
See that? I got just hung out to dry there, folks.
Oh, that's fantastic. It's nice and sweet and hot.
I waited for you and everything.
Okay. Next one, I'm opening. I like it.
I don't know on that one.
Who loves carrots? I do.
I'm going to do another one now that I don't have to wait. Check it out. Go on. That's maybe my favorite team up, by the way.
Who is?
Robin and Nancy.
Yeah, because Robin and Nancy.
Frankly, Hawkins is a little bit like Springfield from The Simpsons. Mm-hmm. You can have that whole town and have anybody team up with Robin, and I think it would be a fun episode.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see Dusty Buns and Robin.
I know, but Dustin and Steve were such a cute little pairing now. I know that Steve was forever the babysitter. He says it himself in one of the episodes, but Dustin and Steve, friends forever.
Zack Attack.
So good. It is like the Zack Attack. They're so cute. And I love it. But the unlikely pairing of Robin and Nancy getting together to do this like Nancy Drew undercover work is so impressive to see.
But look at what they're wearing. I love seeing those outfits.
Their Easter bonnet outfits, like their Easter Sunday
they're
outfits.
Having like brunch.
I love their Easter brunch outfits. You know what I mean? Like Lucas and the Bloodthirsty basketball team kind of go on a wild goose chase for Killer Eddie. He's being kind of like hidden, so I think Lucas almost evades him in a little way. Lucas is helping a little bit, as much as he can. But he's still being a dick. Joyce and Murray fly to Alaska. Dimitri tells Hopper as soon as the pilot Yuri gets his money, he can make his escape. And Hopper will be able to make his escape. Elle's days are getting bad. Elle's probably had the worst day ever. Mike and her are having a tense kind of moment after the roller rink face punch. It's kind of one of those Elle, what have you done situations. She's back to Hawkins' lab.
Yeah, she's out of control, but without powers.
Yeah, she's got no powers, but she's so angry things are happening.
And this is such a Superman 2 narrative, right? Because in Superman 2, he has a chance to give up his power, Superman, and become normal. And he realizes he's not who he is without his powers.
Exactly.
The second he gives them up, he can't be who he is or do the right thing or do what he wants to do.
Not anymore.
So he's desperate to get his powers back, and so is Elle.
Yeah, she is. And I'm saying she gets arrested at this point, and she's questioned for assault against Angela at the rink, and she really doesn't know what to say, so she's kind of like hauled off to go to juvenile detention center. She's waving goodbye to Mike, and then all of a sudden, with a promise to restore her powers, Dr. Owens fucking shows up out of nowhere. That Paul Reiser, he's mad about her.
I was going to say, he's just mad about her.
He is just mad about her. He's just mad about Elle, and he wants her to come back, and he wants to see her, and he wants to make sure that she's okay, and he wants to make sure her powers are restored. So he kind of gives her the glimmer of hope that her powers will be restored, and that she's going to help the world. Because at this point, she doesn't know.
Yeah, he makes a big pitch to her, saying that, I'm counting on you to save the world. No pressure.
No pressure, though.
But I'm counting on you. This white truffle, it might be my winner.
Really?
I love it.
It's so good. Highlights of this episode. I like Hopper's disgusting fucking broken foot. He's just hauling that thing around.
Yeah.
He's just hauling that thing around like it's a brand new baby.
Well, that's what you do.
You gotta be careful. Steve's revelation that he'll always be the babysitter, like I said, obviously. Yeah. He just is always going to be hunting these kids around. Steve's also got his eyes on Nancy, and she's looking at him too. Sorry, Jonathan. But you found, like I say, a new girlfriend, Mike, or Argyle. This Argyle guy. And
yeah, Jonathan, I don't know.
He's also found a lot of weed. He's just smoking weed 24/7. Robin describing Victor Creel, like they didn't know what he was. They didn't know if he was the murderer, and they didn't know if he was the Vecna. And so she was just like, what is he? Like a grandpa murderer who can turn invisible and lift people into the air? Robin, like I love you. I love you, Robin.
How would you describe Vecna? Because they basically describe him as a wizard of the Upside Down.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like he's like a time stopper and like a showstopper. He does everything. He's like more scary than the Demogorgon because he preys on what you're already afraid of, and then he gets inside your mind and gets control of you. I find he's super controlling. And then we get to season 4, episode 4. And that's the Dear Billy episode, which this episode really shined for me.
Dear Billy.
Because it was amazing. And it had that scene with Kate Bush, the running up that hill. The scene that everybody talked about, that scene that everybody's TikToking about and doing reels about. And it's gone viral. I like your question
that you put out there.
What song would pull you out of the Upside Down?
What song would pull you out of the Upside Down?
Like I said, it would be something
silly.
Cheech and
Chong one?
No, it would be like something silly like Phil Collins. Because like it would remind me of my dad, but I love Phil Collins. It would probably be something by Genesis or Phil Collins. And that would pull me out of the Upside Down. And I'd be cool. And I got a lot of like responses, overwhelming responses on TikTok. And they're all bangers. All songs that would pull my ass out of the Upside Down.
It wouldn't be brackish?
There were some people said the kitty would pull them out of the Upside Down.
That's cool.
And that was actually really like humbling to me. That was cool. And then I say fucking Phil Collins. Yeah, I'm the coolest.
I just say that because the joke with you guys is that song always follows you around.
This episode, Sadie Sink shines as Max for this. It is her moment while like in protective custody with the feds. Jonathan, Will, and Mike make a plan to escape when they actually get busted up by the bad guys with a fucking bullet shower. They go crazy with this like.
Yeah, but how about that one FBI guy?
MacGyver dude, like the Tom Selleck like Magnum
Cookie
PI
duster.
guy, yeah, cookie duster mustache guy.
But I mean, first of all, you think that these guys are basically like security guards when they waltz in, like ready to eat donuts and
They're
pizza
just like
and
sitting
stuff.
there like watching TV.
The one guy gets kind of
pizza.
like wasted pretty much right away, but then the other guy is like actually competent and like trained and like he like has a whole plan and the kids kind of make it out alive.
Yeah.
So that's surprising to see.
He wants to take it seriously. Well, the guy does not. But like I said, if they get out.
Okay, let me help you with this one. You just kind of left this.
Meanwhile,
let this guy to die in the hummus.
they'll get into Argyle's van and fucking get the fuck out of there. Meanwhile, after deeper conversation with a committed Victor Creel, Robin and Nancy discovered that the voice of an angel, which was Ella Fitzgerald, as he said on the radio, pulled him out of the Vecna's curse and prevented him from being killed. And that's what saved him. And he ended up just like in jail. We're going to have that one last.
I know. What's the last one we have to do?
I know.
Are we supposed to save this for like episode 7? Is that what you're saying?
No, I've eaten the rest of them. Leave that right now. Wait.
For what?
Wait.
Okay, go on with your synopsis. I'll wait.
You're the rudest guest I've ever had.
But I'm waiting.
Like I say, he was not killed because he was pulled out of the upside down by Ella Fitzgerald.
Ella.
So obviously, So obviously, music is an important part of being pulled out of the upside down. And back at home, Max has been stalked by this demon. And she's written goodbye letters to like her whole family, to her mom, and kind of left it on her bed. Finally, she's left one for Billy. She's in a very emotional scene. She takes her letter to Billy in the graveyard, and she takes it to his grave, and she's sitting in front of his grave and saying, you know, dear Billy, I didn't want this to happen. She's obviously feeling a lot of guilt, and all of a sudden, Vecna gets a hold of her fucking mind, and she's absolutely tormented like Billy. Last minute buzz on the walkie-talkie from Robin and Nancy. Music could break the spell because she is really caught up with Vecna. She's up in the air. Her eyes are already white. She's like ready to crack, like literally ready to go pretzel. Full do the pretzel. Do the pretzel, come on and do it now. Do the pretzel, do. That's a Wiggle song just for you. But if you know anything about the Wiggles, that's all. But Robin and Nancy, like I say, on the last minute, they come through in the walkie-talkie and they say that music might be a breakthrough and might get her out. So Dustin and them all, they run to the car and see when they get her Walkman and they get her Kate Bush tape and they throw it in. Running up that hill goes on. They put it on her ears and the portal is open and she is out of Vecna's clutches and she's okay.
I like that device, by the way. The whole music can pull you out of it. Mm-hmm. It's a little Nightmare on Elm Street-ish.
What song would pull you out of the upside down?
Oh, you wanted to know.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, you want to know. Probably Log Driver's Waltz, because it makes me think of you. And you're the reason to stay here.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Now who's the worst guest?
You.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Go on.
Finally, like, I had to see the thing happen with Max to believe it.
Yeah, because I didn't buy that she was actually going to get out until we actually saw her.
I thought she was toast. Like, I actually had to see it happen.
Well, I remember we were watching it on the couch, and it was like 1:30 in the morning.
I was like, oh my God.
And it's like, okay, because we said, we'll just watch one more episode. Because that's what you do with this video. We're just going to watch one more episode.
No.
But you do this thing. It's like, let's just watch a couple minutes of the next episode.
It'll be fine.
And it ended. You're like, well, we got to watch a couple minutes.
I know.
Like, if there was no, it's just, yeah, we got to do it.
I know. This is just
I don't
me,
mind.
though. But then Hopper...
We only got to take care of 2 kids and a dog in 3 hours.
Hopper and his peanut butter loving ass fucking escape.
Okay, I got to tell you, since I saw his dirty, like, Russian filthy nails go into, like, a big jar of peanut butter...
Skippy?
I haven't... Jiffy.
It was Jiffy.
I'm pretty sure it was either Jif or Jiffy or I don't know. It
was a lot of peanut butter.
But I haven't been able to have peanut butter since.
Really? Oh, it makes me want peanut butter more. With a spoon.
No.
A nice way. But he escapes. But then, of course, Joyce and Murray get sold out to the KGB by Yuri.
Imagine that.
Crazy fucking Yuri. Imagine that.
Yuri wasn't trustworthy.
Imagine that at all. And then, but also, like I say, the duality of Nancy and Robin, like, teaming up was almost as good as Steve and Dustin. Fight me. Somebody fight me and tell me that's wrong. Because if that's wrong,
I don't want to be right.
I don't want to be right. And then seeing Robert Englund and his eyes, that's a great cameo and a little Easter egg especially for horror movie fans. The Duffer Brothers have obviously done it again. And that Easter egg goes out with the Easter bonnets and the Easter outfits that Nancy and friends wore to the mental hospital. That's what they used to call them, the sanitarium, the criminally insane, the home for the criminally insane. Victor Creel.
Yeah, good.
We get to episode 5 called The Ninja Project.
It's called The Nina Project. It's called The Nina Project.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, I wrote that down as ninja. And I knew
it would be cool if it was ninja.
And I was like, this makes no sense for my notes, but it is the Nina Project because they had to find out about the Nina Project. They find out about this thing called the Nina Project. Mike, Will, Jonathan, and Argyle need to know more about this Nina Project. So they go off to Utah. Of course they go to Utah to see Susie and her million brothers and sisters. Susie is Dusty Buns' girlfriend. They go to Utah to see Susie because they know that Susie's a hacker. And they know if they can find anyone.
Well, because they were given a code.
Who was given a phone number.
Before the FBI dude passed away.
Yeah, it was like a phone number with coordinates in it, and they knew if anyone's going to get it, it's going to be Dusty Buns' girlfriend. If she could hack his grades, she could hack into whatever this Nina thing is. So they tell her this big elaborate lie that it's like a video game database and they need this early code to get in. Meanwhile, 11 was...
Ameritendo.
Yes, Ameritendo. Her and her millions of brothers and sisters. Meanwhile, 11 was in Owen's desert lab and was quite kind of jarred to learn that Papa was still alive.
Oh, Matthew Modine.
She was not, like, prepared for that. And he was also, like, really happy for their, like, father-daughter reunion and for her to quickly get her powers back by her reliving her kind of memories. And I don't think she was ready for that. And her powers momentarily returned, which gave her promise and kind of hope and I think made her feel better. But inevitably, in the end, we're not going to make her feel that great. Over in Russia, Kung Fu Murray Kung Fu'd Yuri's ass in a plane while it was moving, and he and Joyce safely crashed the plane.
Yeah.
Like I say, back in Hawkins, Nancy Drew figured out that through piecing Max's drawings together, that Vecna's lair was actually the old Creel house, the Victor Creel house, where everything had happened.
There's definitely a connection.
Yeah, she thought that was his lair. She thought it was his connection. So we're going to call it his lair. So we get the Creel backstory, them moving into the house, how his old rich uncle left it to him, and he kind of like walked in there, kind of like looking almost like Trey Cool did, like really early on in Green Day. It was like really funny.
But again, we're going back to an artistic sensibility. Yeah. That's the key to the Upside Down, right?
Absolutely.
So music pulls you out. There's that bridge between kind of like the ether when you're in the zone. And music tethers you to like this world, but also puts you in that world. Mm-hmm. And so does like drawing and sketches. And we saw that in season 1 with Joyce putting together Will's drawings and all that stuff
exactly.
too.
And they still piece together drawings.
So what I like about it is they've thought about it. And it's not just these random things that are all of a sudden happening. It like they built this in.
They took thought, there was actual thought behind this, which was nice. Now, all the kids decided they were just going to break in and have the same experience that the Creoles had. They had this flickering light experience. And so it obviously happened to them too. They could see that there was an energy portal, obviously, through there with Vecna, and something was going on. And
that's because there was a murder there.
It's true. There was a murder. Well, there were multiple murders there. And Jason, speaking of murder, Jason was still trying to kill Eddie, but Vecna kind of interrupted them in a boat by killing his teammate Patrick right before their very eyes in Eddie's eyes. So he could see very clearly that Eddie didn't kill Patrick.
No, he still thinks he did.
I know he still thinks he did, but he could see clearly that he didn't do it. But he thought it was some kind of magic, some kind of witchcraft, some kind of craziness. But right before his eyes, the kid was dragged like out of the water and like up into the air and fried.
Pretzeled and then dunked.
Yeah, and then dunked, gone. And couldn't do anything about it. Not one thing. But still, Eddie's guilty. It doesn't matter. It's, sucked to learn that Brenner was alive. Season 1 told me that he was dead by Demogorgon. I guess not.
Well, season 4, you've always got to bring somebody back.
Will?
That's the rule.
I feel like Will, and if you didn't think this before, when he was getting brushed up against by that girl in class, and he was like, "Ugh, get the fuck away from me." Remember that girl who tried to brush up against his leg in class? In the first episode? He was going to get the fuck away with me. He's been having many conversations with Mike that are like super tense. They're yelling at each other. He's always a third wheel. He's always painting. He's always by himself. I know
where you're going with this, and I disagree.
I think if you didn't think he was dealing with his sexuality before, he's dealing with it now. I think that he is deeply in love with Mike, big time. I'm serious.
I just think he's trying to figure out who he is, because everything he's ever known has been taken away from him, and he's never been able to get grounded. He's always been the kid that the thing happened to. Doesn't have a permanent house anywhere. He's always been an outcast, so he doesn't know who he is, and everything that he thought was real is constantly pulled away from him. He's struggling to find out who he is and what his voice is.
All I'm going to say is, be yourself, Will. And if that self is in love with Mike, I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Next episode.
I think he's seriously struggling.
When are we doing this?
At the end.
Oh, okay. At the end, folks. Mm-hmm. TikTok, the Scoville City clock.
Mm-hmm. You can't rush greatness. And speaking of greatness, we got the dive in episode 6. We did the deep dive in episode 6. Eddie, Steve, Nancy, Robin, Dustin, Lucas, and Max figure out that the portal enters to Vecna's upside-down hell and lair was actually a gate at the bottom of Lover's Lake where all the teenagers hang out and make out. A water gate, according to Dusty Buttons. A water gate. How clever is that? A gate through water. Thanks, Dustin. Steve is now hairy, which they all kind of point out. Steve takes off his shirt in like a canoe and now has like armpit hair and like puberty hair, like chest hair and stuff. It's just really funny to see like a young kid like Steve. I know he's got a lot of hair on his head, but with body hair, it's really funny. And Nancy's like digging it. Like she's like loving it. She's loving every minute of it. So quick. Steve is sucked into the portal down to Vecna's lair, and he's getting attacked by like, I don't know, demi-bats?
Yeah, some sort of upside down winged creature.
So his friends come to his rescue. In Utah, Susie falls for the tall tale, hacks Nina's coordinates, and Argyle and her sister get so stoned. Like so stoned. They got musical youth playing in the background. They got Past the Duchy on me left-hand side, and they're
Past the Duchy on me left-hand side.
They're getting so high in his van. It's just hilarious. And she's just like lying on his lap, and they're both like ripped. Talk about Cheech and Chong. There was Cheech and Chong.
I'm surprised they don't find a portal to the upside down after some of that.
Pass me the bong and put on Cheech and Chong. Marijuana. It's legal in Ontario. Marijuana. Cha-cha-cha. Seriously. In Hawkins' lab, 11 recalls a weird orderly named Peter, and he said that she reminded him of number 1 and that sometimes Papa lied. Subsequently, like, Peter got his ass fucking whooped for this. He was taken into a room and he got the shit kicked out of him. Mm-hmm. So that was not good for Peter. Joyce and Murray get into the prison.
We haven't even talked about how number 2 has been plaguing Elle as well.
Oh, I'll talk about that. Like, number 2 has been an asshole to Elle. He's like
in the same way that Angela's an asshole to her.
He's been her lab person has a little crew out against her that wants to basically like kill her. They're so afraid of her power, and if she gets any stronger, they kind of just want her to die because they see how strong she is, and they're intimidated by that. She's beaten 2 in some mind melding competitions, and it's just been a little bit too much for him to handle. And he's got his crew out after her. She's already been assaulted physically. So basically, like, this orderly, like, Peter is kind of telling her to take no shit. Meanwhile, Joyce and Murray get into the prison with Murray posing as Yuri.
Well, we forgot the whole kung fu stuff.
I said that. I already said that.
Well, I don't remember you saying the kung fu stuff. Kung fu. It was awesome. Like, where did that come from? And so, like, that when that gets introduced, I'm thinking, okay.
Murray kung fu Yuri's ass on an airplane, and I said, him and Joyce safely...
So what I love about that moment, which leads to this, I missed it because I was having hot sauce. I was getting pulled into the upside down.
Yes.
What I love about that is, like, wow, anything can happen now. Like, they're just bringing all these different, like, cards out for Murray.
No give a shit. Murray does whatever the fuck he wants. He's like Kung Fu Panda. He's amazing. Okay. So, we got Murray Yuri.
My favorite part of the whole season. Murray Yuri.
Yeah, it was like posing as that. They got in with the KGB, got into jail. Hopper's there, Joyce is there. Then they find out they've got this like Demigorgon, like UFC octagon thing where they feed all the prison dudes. They give them their best meal ever, and then they're gonna go fight a Demigorgon. Meanwhile, Hopper manages to get a big old bottle of vodka and a lighter, so he's gonna make a Molotov cocktail that will inevitably help fucking stun this goddamn Demigorgon. Max and Lucas are looking more coupley, finally back again because she's coming back into herself. Because Lucas was doing the jock thing, Max was doing the post-traumatic stress disorder thing, was Billy at the mall and everything that happened in season 3. Now, this episode made me laugh because Susie's house was like a cross between Home Alone before they went on vacation and like Uncle Buck.
I didn't understand why it was like all children everywhere all the time.
Because they lived in Utah.
Yeah, but it was just like, where is like the adult supervision?
They said their dad was always working on a computer. He took Susie's computer. Their dad was just like never there. He was there, but he was never there. Number 2 in his crew is Hawkins. Like I say, they were horrible to number 11. They threatened to kill her. Like, yikes. So things were not going good at the lab for her at all. Episode 7, we got the massacre at Hawkins' lab. After the kids rescue Steve, they're kind of deducted that there's a gate at each one of Vecna's murder sites because they pulled pulled Steve out of, and where they got him out of was a murder site. And after they get everybody kind of out, Nancy gets snatched up by Vecna before she can kind of do anything about it, and she's stuck. Then we switch back to Russia. Hopper's back with Joyce. He ain't no Demigorgon Chow. Boom, boom. Ain't it great to be crazy? They kicked the shit out of it. He threw the Molotov cocktail at the Demigorgon and inevitably like threw a spear through its flower.
Mouth.
Face. Where it would be. 11 has another memory of Peter telling her that Brenner would have her killed if he couldn't control her, and he couldn't have her being out of control and doing the things that she was doing. So they were going to have her killed. So they tried to escape together. Elle removed Peter's microchip in his neck. He had that chip in his neck.
The inhibitor.
And that was inhibiting him from his powers. So, but this inadvertently allowed him to go on a fucking murder spree. Like an absolute...
He got his vengeance.
Murder spree. He did get his vengeance. And so he uses murder spree to kill everyone kind of telekinesis style. Like he was like in Carrie, he was using his telekinesis to kill you. Like he just wanted to kill everybody. I love that you're blinking. I'm using my telekinesis to
so when you blink at me like that sometimes in the morning, I know what you're trying to do now.
Open my eyes. Go, Carrie. It's your birthday. Go, Carrie. It's your birthday. That's telekinesis, baby. I'm just surprised you didn't light that whole motherfucker on fire.
You're having funerals for me in your head.
Shut up. You know what? It turns out it wasn't what have you done, 11. It wasn't 11 at all. It was number 1. It was Peter. It was Victor Creel's son, Peter.
That's the double reveal.
The double reveal that it was Victor Creel's son, Peter, who actually didn't die in the massacre in the house. He was kind of pulled out too. And he was given over to Hawkins' lab, but he killed his family because he didn't want to be put in Dr. Brenner's care. So he killed his family because he's extraordinary. Al was basically forced to hit his ass with a blast through a gate that would throw him down to the upside down where he became, surprise, Vecna.
Vacron, Velcro, Vecna.
Vector cereal. I want a bowl of it right now.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh my God, it is
Canada
so good.
only has Vector.
I know that. Isn't that crazy?
I used to love mixing cherry yogurt with it.
Oh. But you know what? Where do we go from here? It seems Nancy and Steve are getting cozy. Nancy and Steve are getting real cozy. Sorry, Jonathan. You're just going to have to just...
Jonathan's not worried. He doesn't have to worry about anything. He's got no stress in his life right now thanks to Argyle.
Yeah, no shit. Thanks to weed. He's just not caring about anything. He didn't even see Nancy on spring break. Dumbass. Not good. Peter is revealed as one. So this whole time that he said to Elle that she reminded him of number one, it was just because of the unbridled and unharnessed power that he had and that they had kind of like together. And that's why they were like so one, 11 and 1 and all those things. There's always going to be another number. As amazing as it was to see Elle send Peter packing, something about Russian prisoners getting wasted by a demigorgon octagon style until Hopper throws a spear into their fucking face was more epic than anything, I would say. It was pretty cool.
It kind of scratches that itch. I mean, the season was produced before all the current events with Russia and Ukraine, of course, but kind of makes you wish that Ukraine had some demigorgons to unleash.
Speaking of a demigorgon,
is it finally time?
A Scoville City Reaper. This has got the pineapple, ghost peppers.
Ghost pepper. I've never had any ghost pepper extract or peppers itself, so
really?
I am nervous for this one.
Don't be nervous.
Well, I'm going to be nervous. Don't tell me what to do.
Take a wang wang. Take a wang wang.
Tell me how to be. Tell me what to do. I'm
going to drop my socials now because I'm going to be dropping more things about Scoville
No, try
City.
to do it after it's burning your mouth.
I'll do it.
Okay. No, it's no big deal. You got this.
It's fine.
Okay. You want some more?
Yeah.
Just put it on. Open your tongue. I'll just put it right on your tongue. You're so badass. Okay, where can people find you?
I'm going to tell you in a minute. Well, first you gotta go out and find Scoville City on Instagram. I put lots of stuff about Scoville City up in my stories. You can find them at Scoville City. It's hot in here. You can find Scoville City on Instagram. You can find Scoville City on TikTok. Or you want to find me, I'll be hanging out with you weekly here on the podcast. You can find me on Instagram at 21st Century Rocker Mom. You can find me on TikTok at 21st Century Rocker Mom. You can find me on Twitter at Tanny Candler. You can find me streaming anywhere you stream podcasts. You can find me on YouTube. Tanny Candler channel, if you just click subscribe, you'll find me every week here hanging out with you. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful week. Rob, where they can find you? Where is everyone going to find Rob McCallum?
Just find me at Scoville City. That's where you need to go to find me, because that's the important takeaway. I mean,
is that where you're hanging out now?
That's where I'm hanging out. People can Google whatever, find me wherever. But Scoville City I'm enjoying my visit to Scoville City. So come join me at Scoville City and watch some Stranger Things 4.
Yeah, you know what? This is some premium sauce. You're going to want to get your hands on this. So I'm going to leave some links up for Scoville City and where you can find Scoville City. And you're going to learn about Scoville City a little bit more in the next coming weeks. But I want you to have a wonderful week. And I'll be hanging out with you next week. Peace and love.